Oh, shit, I've lost it.
Doing the questions and answers, and then 8 o'clock we do the meeting. That's Rex.
Oh,
Yeah, Garnet's here as well.
ask me. He's living in his van.
He's got no internet in the flat, so that's why he's in the van. Currently, at the moment, I've muted him, so yeah, he still is. I've got Rex in the middle of the screen.
You might have muted him. Double.
Get off.
Shane?
Yeah.
I've got a little question. It's probably not applicable to this, but when I open the meeting notes, the WelMac magazine, and Acrobat, I start reading it, and when I go down a page and then go back up again, I get a whole lot of lines across. It's all right doing it the first time, but when you do, as you scroll back up again, you get these lines across the page. It's probably something to do with Acrobat.
Yeah, I've seen it myself on Acrobat when you're running low on memory, and it's not so good at drawing things. Often you get the little search bar up the top to draw itself several times over the page as well. So sometimes it's just a matter of checking that you've got enough free. If your computer's working pretty hard, that can cause. It's just they're not so good at drawing things on the screens. Yeah, well, preview.
Yeah, you can, Rex, you can use Preview or Quick Look. That might be better than using Acrobat.
Hey, Shane.
Hi, Rich. Yeah. Ooh.
My normal one.
Yeah, I got a lady making a Spider-Man one.
No, yeah.
But that's but I've just ordered one from Mayo, Mayo Walker.
We're just saying if it's first day wearing masks around, and yeah, I got a few extras from my darling wife last night. She made them. So, was good to be able to keep up with all the hipsters wearing their cool masks and now.
So we can shadow. So if you've got the filters as well. And $22. Freaking the freight is the most expensive part of it. It's fucking $15 freight, man. But you can do a bone pack, so you can do three plus one free. 66. Because they do but they also do those ones as well. Sure, some of the possibilities. Oh dear, Brian Miller, Bryan Miller.
Shane, Shane,
Hello.
my screen shows a little tag up the side that says recording. Where did
Yes, it's all right. Graham's recording the meeting.
Oh, it's nothing to do with me.
No, Graham's actually doing it. He's one sitting out right there. He's recording it on his laptop because David forgot to record the last meeting from the previous month. He forgot to hit the record button. It didn't work.
Okay.
So instead of me recording it and then having to give the file to Graham, it's easier if he records it and then he can upload it.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Makes it a bit easier.
It's
Saves
just
transferring files if you record them on, on the machine.
Yeah, and it's also too, if other people miss the meeting, they can actually have a look at it as well.
It saves it into
A folder under Zoom in Zoom US.
Shane, do we only get 40 minutes on here, do we?
Sorry?
Do we only get the use of 40 minutes of Zoom, do we?
Oh, yeah, that's it is.
Zoom time,
I think
only get 40 minutes?
Unless you're paying for an account, they do limit the free users. So, yeah,
Oh, right.
I think if you've got a meeting with more than, is it 3 people, more than 2, something like that, 2 or 3 people, then they limit the the time length, just to encourage you to pay for it.
How much is it to go extra? Mark, do you have any idea?
Oh, it's
Not a lot.
Yeah.
What's the WelMac one? I think it was in the order of like $10 a month or something like that. Yeah. So if you're actively using it for several people, certainly.
Yeah. So, but like the meeting we're having here now, if we want to, you can extend it if you want to, can you?
Yeah. Well, so this meeting now we're using the meetings feature, which WelMac is paid for, a monthly subscription, and so as a result of that, we can have it as long as we like. I have done. In the past, we have done a 52-hour Zoom meeting. Yes, we have. It was a long weekend.
Yep. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm pretty new to it, so I'm still finding out things.
Yeah, well, it's certainly. I've been using it for 3 or 4 years before it became more popular recently. And certainly it's come a long way in the last little while with all the everyone's starting to use it, so it's good.
Yep.
Can I ask something about the website?
Yeah.
It's very out of date, so if somebody was trying to join, would that joining page work, and how would
Yes, that was actually, that job was actually left up to Andrew. But I think at the moment Andrew's had a few other issues, health issues with Andrea at the moment, so he's kind of neglected her a bit. She hasn't been very well the last few weeks.
It's just that I've
and David's gone away this weekend for a couple of weeks. He's gone down to Christchurch, so.
Okay, so I've offered to shout another Mac user a subscription for the year, and I went to the website and everything looks so old. I wasn't really sure if that worked, and I also couldn't see how to pay. So I thought, well, I better find out.
They have to do the link on the website, do all the details on the website, then that gets sent to me. And then basically I enter the details into the database and send them an email.
Yeah, so it's essentially an application.
Yeah, okay, so it is still working. You would get that.
It's still working.
So what happens if you want to give somebody a gift membership?
So basically, that person, if you want to give them a gift membership, they'd have to tell you the membership number, and then you'd have to do the bank deposit yourself, Margaret.
Yes, I see. Okay. All right.
Because the email actually goes to the member.
Yeah, sure. But
so
in short,
so if she wants to share the membership number to you, and then you can actually do the deposit on her behalf.
Right, but that page is being monitored, correct?
Yes. Okay. Me, David, and Peter have access to the bank details.
Yeah,
electronically now.
And electronically now.
Online.
We can all do online now. So all our bill payments now is all done online now. So basically, David, me, Peter, and Andrew now have electronic access now. So any bills that come in, Peter puts them up onto our business online webpage. We all get notified that there's a bill there, and we basically, one of us four can authorise it, or one of us three, other than the person who puts the bill up there.
So I tell the other Mac user to fill in the form.
Fill in the form, send it
through.
Okay.
Send me the number, and then I'll pay it from.
So basically, they fill in the form, send it to me. I will put their name and details into the database. That will generate the membership number, and then I will email that member back, and then they would have to email you with the membership number so you can pay it on their behalf.
All right, but I'd also have to know what.
Or they can just forward their email on to you, Margaret.
Yes. Okay. exactly.
All right.
Pretty goody. Yep, that's fine.
Cool, cool.
I was pleased to be able to get onto the Facebook page without joining Facebook, but since it's so difficult sometimes to do much with a Facebook page without joining, I just wondered if there was a way of joining without joining, like use a different email address and be just totally inactive.
Yeah, well, certainly you can set up as many accounts as you like, as long as they all have different purposes.
And you remember the passwords.
Yeah,
That's the most important thing, is remembering the passwords.
Well, that's true of just about anything, so that's not a problem.
That's good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because that way, if you never did anything with it except be there, they wouldn't be able to target advertising at you because you wouldn't be doing anything except going to Facebook.
Yeah, always use it without use it secretly. I think a few people do that. I used to do that with Instagram. I created myself a blank account so I could view Instagram posts. But then everyone started wanting me to post pictures.
Yeah, and also if you want to see what your rallies are up to, you've got to end up friending them or being a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's all designed to weigh you down.
One thing I do, and I encourage other people to hunt it down if they prefer. In your Facebook profile, you can enable what they call following, and it's essentially not friending. It's essentially adding someone, well, subscribing to their public posts, and it's a way of, well, doing something without being friends. I've always thought with Facebook, it just seemed a bit strange. You were friends with someone when, in most cases, I didn't even know the person.
Yeah.
Physically.
That might be one way of stopping that wretched pop-up obscuring half the page all the time.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh well, thanks for the advice.
So yeah, create an account using. You can even use one of these sort of throwaway online email things. Well,
I think Gmail allows you several different emails, so I could have one just for Facebook, couldn't I?
Oh, that too, yeah.
I don't know how many I'm allowed. I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
Oh, they usually give you 5 or so, don't they?
We have a full house tonight, 19 people.
Oh, jolly good.
Just about the witching hour.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fish tank, Brian.
Yes, it comes in handy when you're sitting in the background. And that's just ordinary goldfish.
Yeah, who needs rolling surf on a Hawaiian beach when you've got fish?
Yep, no, just yep. We've had that tank had them for quite a few years. But yeah, no, the constant maintenance. You've got to do every fortnight. You've got to change your water.
It's interesting that they do mountaineer rather than go around in spirals. They actually. Yeah. I've always wondered about those vertical ones, but they seem to cultivate a different way of swimming.
Yeah, it is different. Don't take up as much room. And yeah.
What have you got in there? They've got all sorts of different appendages on them. They've got fins to spare. What are they?
My fridge.
You've got the fluffy ones.
And if he wants it.
Yeah.
If you got a virtual background, put it on, Grant. You hide my fridge.
I'll do a close-up shot of it for you, if I can.
Yeah, their fins are very voluminous.
Yeah, that's good.
And look at that tail; it's amazing.
Up there.
Are they bred to look gorgeous and sort of like
Yep,
ballerinas?
yep.
What's
Yep.
that? The tail of the clover.
I must admit, our cat sits here and admires them.
Yes, I can imagine.
What have you named your fish there, Brian?
Yeah, Blackie, Whitey.
How
There's no
about
set.
Pinky? Orangey
Yep,
doesn't sound
there's
quite
no
right.
set names. Yep. No, that's them. There's about 5 of them, and plus there's a little catfish there, the algae eaters.
Have you got one called Wanda?
Wonder, I think they're all wonders, aren't they?
I don't know. I never saw the movie.
Right. No. These are no name. It's just Blackie and Whitey, and yep. I haven't got round to getting personal with them yet.
Mm.
So that's
the red, maybe the red one could be called Eric if it's male.
Yeah, no. They're interesting.
Join in as well.
I'd go in for the White Queen and the Black Knight myself.
Right. No, there's plenty of goldfish about. There's never a shortage of them. There's always someone wanting to give them away. But they get too big for the tank here. We put them out in the pond outside, and we had one. He was huge, and every time the cat went and drank from the fish tank outside the pond, the goldfish would come up and they'd virtually touch one another.
Gosh, that's pretty good going that the cat didn't. Oh boy, are we having a screen share?
By popular demand, I have jumped onto the website.
Just in your request there, Margaret. So Joe is actually updating the website as we speak.
Yes, so this is on my iPhone.
Aren't you a gem?
So
it's lovely.
So you can just, here's my little device that I'm showing on the screen. But certainly, I think I've made some sort of update. So I will say.
You look as if you're programming as we speak.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I did try the visual editor, and it only showed me the first little bit. So now it says, no, it's not what I just updated. I'll hit refresh. There you go. Due to the pandemic, all upcoming meetings have been taken online. That was the easiest change on me.
It looks better. It looks far more welcoming. It just looked as if, forget it, go home, don't do anything, don't contact if you're not working.
So certainly, so that should help. But I must figure out what's stopping me from editing that page using.
But you just have, haven't you? Or do you mean a different page?
There's what they call a HTML editor, which allows you to visually see the page, and you'll see. Oh, it does. It's just. Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't scroll down. There you go. It doesn't quite make it to the bottom, and so I was looking at this tiny little window. But yeah, certainly yes. Like you can just click and type and do some things. So yeah, it can be done from a phone, and it works even better when you've got a larger device such as an iPad. Yeah. Anyway,
you mean it can be edited from a phone?
Yeah. So I should probably update this page as well, the meetings page.
Yeah, because the next meeting was eons ago.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, it can be done, and I have done it while we've been talking. So yes. And that's the thing. I think the last committee meeting we did mean to update it, I think we had a bit of a medical emergency, and some things changed.
Yeah, that's sad. But in the meantime, the half hour while we wait is a good time to do it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yes, it's not. I think that's what David says often. You know, the only dedicated time I have to WelMac is when I'm at the meetings. Sometimes it's you have to put yourself in a situation. I was intrigued to find out what the
What's that little exclamation mark and the triangle beside wellmac.org.nz? Does that mean something's wrong, or is that your
I was
logo?
just checking, and I think it's because I don't force HTTPS, and I think the
Oh, it's alerting you that you're not secure.
it's saying your connection is not fully secure. Yeah. So
Right.
it does have a security certificate, but it's saying it's not secure enough to do financial transactions on. But currently, you can't do any financial transactions. Yeah, we should probably change that.
They're all done offline, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, off this line anyway.
Yeah. All right, I will jump back to Zoom. Here we go. Oh, see everyone now. Everyone's lovely faces.
This wee pop-up message, I think David organised it, is cute. I didn't try joining from there, but I wasn't sure if it was different in any way. WelMac monthly meeting now.
Yeah, so one of the things Zoom does is it talks to you. It can talk to your calendar, and I've noticed that on my phone in particular, if you've got an appointment in your calendar that has a Zoom link in it, then Zoom itself realizes that there's a scheduled meeting coming up, and it will actually call you almost. On your phone, it will give you a little call and say, "Hey, your meeting's starting now,"
which is great. What I didn't check on is whether the link given to me there is my unique link that was given to me by email, or whether it's a more generic thing for joining the Zoom meeting. Because when you get a link, it's just a word or two, whereas here you get the whole URL. Complete with so many A's
it's got
on
a big long bit after it that you can't discern, then it's probably personalized. If it's just got a and password equals something, then it's probably a generic link.
Yeah, this doesn't have a pass. It's got a passcode. The one tap mobile.
So the one tap mobile is if you're joining from the phone, it's quite handy if you're late getting home and you can only join via audio. It actually dials the number and it pauses at the right times and enters the right code, and you end up in the meeting.
You can see it visually on a smartphone. You can see it visually on a smartphone. You just don't get as many bells and whistles.
Oh yeah. But that one tap mobile is useful if you're not on the internet. For example, joining on the car.
Sure. Got it.
Got the hands free or something like that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I tried to run this on an iMac, but it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my iMac's too old.
Yeah. They do have older versions.
Yeah.
Depends on the support.
Yeah. because I'm just using an iPad Pro at the moment.
Yeah, I was certainly quite capable of doing. I think I run most of my life runs on my well, it's an iPhone 6.
Oh yeah.
It still does almost everything I need, and very very rarely do I have to jump onto a computer.
Yeah. Right.
Which is, I suppose, the topic of this this meeting tonight. We're talking about how to do it with iPhones and iPads. So yeah, we're just going through questions and answers. Certainly, there was a couple that were emailed through as well.
I've got this one. So what I might do is I might just share this so people can. So this was your question, Margaret. Basically,
yep.
USB port not working for one external device, but working for another. My second time machine is a 2 terabyte Seagate expansion portable drive and has been connected to my MacBook Pro mid-2015 without issue for 2 years, but today it would appear on my devices list only if connected to the right-hand USB port, while on the left it was invisible and inactive, including after a check. All parts were firmly connected. In contrast, a flash drive I have hand connected to either USB, I think that's supposed to be, not ISP. Port is normal.
Yes,
the shafts of the two, a bit of a misspell. The shafts of the two USB male connectors look the same lengths, though the flash drive one could be microscopically longer, but this would not explain the Seagate's previous lack of connection problems.
I wondered if it might be a voltage thing. If it, like it's one a bit like this one. This is one of these things.
Yeah, which is similar to the one I've got. Did you also go click on about this Mac and then go under details, and you can actually click on the USB part of your computer and see if it was actually showing up in there as well?
Well, I have to have it plugged in at the time to do that. I didn't think of doing that. Oh, well, I haven't got the same one here because I was up at Paihakariki and I back up there and I also back up here. So I've got backups in 2 different addresses. So I'm just connecting it now to see if it will connect this other one. And if not, I'll connect it to the other side and have a look. So thank you for that, Shane. I had a look online and I'm not alone. It seems as if they do break down, and some people just live with it. I find it annoying because the one that was working is on the left, and sometimes I might have a notepad or something on the right, and I don't really want it.
Because I'm just looking at my system information as well, and if you click on USB, I'm just going to share the screen so you can actually see this. We'll just stop sharing the question, or just share my screen. And basically, just close the. And you can notice there, see where I'm highlighting there on the screen where it's got 500 MA, required MA. If you plug your hard drive in and just see if that is actually showing that current power there. Because there might be, if that doesn't, there might be a problem with the hard drive.
Yes, so well, that's right. That's something I couldn't test. You're absolutely right. I couldn't test that, but I've got a different hard drive, so I'll just have a look and see if it's actually showing up. Yeah, it is showing up. It could be the hard drive then. But why does it work?
The hard drive.
So why would it work with one USB port and not the other?
The ultimate test would be to try it on both USB ports, Margaret.
I did, and because, it works on the other one.
Yeah, right. Because you've got the same Mac as me.
Yeah, 2015, mid to late. Well,
Yes.
mid that arrived late in New Zealand. Yeah, that's interesting because my first time machine on a, is this a Seagate or is it a, let's see, check which make it is.
So it doesn't have an external power.
Yeah, it's a Seagate 4 terabyte. That's right. It depends on the, you plug it into the Mac, so it's draining the Mac. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sometimes they're grouped by the bus. You know, there might be several ports that are connected to the same power source. And if you've got one device that uses lots of power and another device that also uses lots of power, then you might run out of power on one side of the laptop, if that makes sense. Or if you've got multiple devices connected. And that's where having a powered hub or having a powered drive can help if you're running out of power. But
well,
for the most part, you should have plenty of power.
Yeah, because
they
this
tend
one,
to run the smaller hard drives at slower speeds so that they don't use as much power.
I'm looking at USB bus, and here's my 4 terabyte drive. Come on, is it 4 terabyte? Yeah. Now, what am I looking? I've got capacity file system, volume. Capacity.
Margaret, did you want to share your screen and we can have a look?
Sure, but I don't know quite how to do that because I'm not used to being allowed to.
At the bottom of the application, beside your chat window, there's a share screen.
Okay.
So if you hover down the bottom.
I did have the chat window up. I'll just put it up again. I can't see a share screen.
It's the green one in the middle down the bottom.
Oh, I see.
Got the bottom menu pop up. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to share everything. I'm trying to just share what's on top. That's not going to work.
And there should be several options there. One of them should be just the window that that you want.
There we go.
So yes, but I can't see what it is that is showing up for you. I wanted to turn this part off.
Yeah.
It's bringing up a whole lot of things that I'd hidden from the desktop to avoid confusion. So that's not good. I can't find. In fact, I can't see the screen myself, which is really annoying.
Yeah, so it's basically the left one beside your calendar. You need to bring that other one over. It's only showing half the screen. Yeah, that one. You need to extend that one.
That doesn't seem. I can't seem to do it.
Okay, hang on. We just requested remote control.
Try pressing your green button to make it full screen, Margaret.
Thank you.
Oh, there it is.
Well, I put it on escape so that I could.
No, it's all right, Margaret. I've got control of your screen now.
You seem to have better control of it than I have.
Okay, so Apple external keyboard, that's got power, Bluetooth USB host controller. The bottom one has got available MA, but nothing current required. Oh, the 4 terabytes.
So it's only using, so it's only using 144 or something.
Yes, it's only using 144 milliamps.
And there's 900 available, so it shouldn't be a problem in that port.
Oh, it's this bit here. This is what you're looking at there, is it? 144?
Yes, yeah.
That great. So
here.
That means I can, when I'm next, I was moving the cursor and now you
Stop
are.
moving your mouse.
Yeah.
We'll give you.
We'll give you your control back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
exactly.
So I look at this part next time where I'm at Paikakariki and see what the story is about the one that's only 1 terabyte, because in spite of being a lower capacity, it might be greedier or something.
Do you know how long you've had that drive for, Margaret?
I've had the second time machine that wouldn't plug in there for I think at least 2 years now.
Okay, because the other thing that I did think of too, maybe if you've got another lead to the drive, the lead might have the fault as well. I've had that happen before as well. So basically the USB-A to the one that goes into the drive, it's usually a funny shaped one. It's slightly longer with a bit of a ding in the middle of it.
I've got quite a few of them because I bought a whole group of them for doing.
I'm just wondering, also try another lead, because I had that happen on one of my backup drives. Basically, the lead had a short in it. It got bent the wrong way, and a couple of the wires broke inside the actual and the actual cable.
Good thinking, although I don't understand why it worked on the other USB side, but I will do that.
True.
I was right up against.
It's just basically.
I wanted to ask anything, and I didn't have anything to test these things with.
It's basically a trial elimination, basically going through different things.
Yeah, thanks. I'll make a note to do that next time I'm out there. I'll take it out there and test it. Who's running the meeting
I think
tonight?
that was
we should be on to.
That was the only question I had. Was there anybody else had any questions that weren't emailed in that we can try and answer now, if we can?
I tried to access the meeting, the help desk that was done last week, because I missed it. I was working, and last week or the Sunday before, and I believed it was going to be recorded. Did that happen, Shane?
Yes, as far as I know, David did it at his place. He may not have passed that on to Graham. No, that's the reason why it's not available at the moment. He did record it last weekend, basically because we had no members that wanted to come to my place for the help desk. All of it was done on Zoom. So David has done the meeting, but just hasn't got the video to Graham yet. Basically, because the meeting was done on a Sunday, he works Monday to Friday, and today or yesterday, Saturday, he was off to Christchurch. So just with work and everything in between planning his trip, he just hasn't got that to Graham yet.
There is a solution if Garnet wants to get started, and that is that David gave us a draft PDF that he spoke to, and the notes in the PDF are very extensive. And also the first part of the current capital Apple kind of go over the situation as well.
Okay,
So,
I haven't had a chance to look at that today, so thanks, Margaret.
Yeah, I mean, I have a copy of this PDF, but would I be out of order if I sent you a copy, Garnet?
Oh, I'd appreciate that.
No
I'll use the little chat box. I'll use the little chat box here to give you my client. I'm sorry?
You were trying to attend, but just couldn't get through. So, I mean, I think you'd be entitled to have it.
So, yeah, I have to work. I'll just, down at the chat box here, Margaret, I'll just privately give you my email address.
Yeah, I've got an old one, but it might have changed since then, so that'd be good.
Yeah, probably has, so I'll give you a new one.
Okay, all good. Any other questions from anybody?
I've got one I sent in. I can connect the contacts in my iPhone to Apple CarPlay using the USB connection. When I try to do it with Bluetooth, I get a completely different set of contacts and I can't access them to modify it. So I'd like to be able to do that.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that this afternoon when I was sitting in my car. Actually, it's possible that that it's previously synced a group of contacts if you've got multiple address books, for example, if you've got people in say an Outlook address and as well as iCloud, then it may have just only given you some of them, and whereas when you're on the USB, it can I suppose directly access all the contacts. When you're on the Bluetooth, it doesn't necessarily download it all. There is when you go to make a call in CarPlay, down on the bottom side is the link you press to go to the contacts, and you've got your favorites and various other things. The trick with this is some cars prevent you from accessing all your contacts while the engine's running. They want you to, only be able to tap on or make a call through voice or whatever they want. So just double check that the ignition isn't on, because that might you might not be able to access all the menu items, all the items while the engine's running. They don't want you to sit there while you're driving along scrolling through 300 contacts to try and find the one. They'd prefer if you just said, "Hey Siri, can you call my mum?" or whoever it is. Yeah. So you'll probably find that Siri works because Siri's talking to your phone to query the phone, but when it's synced through to the head unit on the car, it might not have all the contacts. And I'm not 100% sure how to clear the contacts and resynchronize them, and that's where I got stuck on mine. But yeah, it's either it's looking at a smaller address book. It might be just you've only saved some of your contacts to iCloud, or and the rest are on your Outlook or Gmail or whatever other contacts you've added.
See, my just to give you a bit of a heads up, Lance, all my contacts in my iPad and my iPhone are all on the iCloud. I don't have any on Google or Gmail or any of those. So all on iCloud. Yeah. So basically, I've only got one mailbox. It's my iCloud mailbox that's synced between my devices. So that's synced between my iPad, my iPhone, and my computer. So basically, any changes I do on any one of those, it updates it to the cloud and updates the other two devices as well. So because I use Google as part of Gmail, but it's all through the cloud. I don't use Google or anything for contacts. So all mine are done through the cloud. So I just have them in one thing. So whatever device I'm on, if I update one, the whole lot gets updated.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it may, and so the difference with me, as I probably have, I'll just share this. It's probably screen.
We're just going to share Joe's screen, Lance, so you can actually see.
So this is, Shane was saying, yes, he only uses iCloud. But if you've worked for several places or you've got several services, then you'll find that you have not just the one, and so that might be what's happened. Maybe for some reason it's just connected one of your groups, so some of your contacts, and it might not have pulled through, for example, your Gmail contacts or your work or your play or your whatever else. So yeah, any contact that is set up in your contacts group there will come through. Well, it should come through. And the difference when you're plugging in with the USB, it's connecting essentially directly to your phone. It doesn't have to transfer an address book and limit what it's syncing.
It's 20 hours.
gone.
But I think my car's too far away for it to realise that CarPlay is connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Available cars, none.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, give that a go. But yeah, one of the tricks that often catches you out is the ignition. Try it with the ignition off, because you may have got in your car and you started up the car and you're trying to do something and you can't do it. And often they've inhibited something because they don't want you to do it while you're driving.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Any other further questions? No? All right. Well, we might as well start off with the main part of the meeting then. So basically what we're talking about is iPhone, iOS, iPads, basically. So all you guys that have joined have hopefully all got iPhones or iPads. There might be an exception of one or two. I think Margaret still hasn't gone that way yet. But basically, this is a little bit to what I do up in Kapiti. So I run the Kapiti iPad group up there. Janet's been to it. We hosted at her place. So there's little things with iPads and stuff. We've just got someone else coming in. Who was that? That was Anna. Oh, coming back in. So yeah. So basically what we're going to do is me and Joe are going to basically just use some little things that we do with our iPhone and iPad, just highlight some of the things that you might have. I know Ralph has, and I've got it, Ralph, your list, thank you very much, of the one you sent through to Janet, basically what he discussed. So last month, Ralph basically hosted Kapiti's meeting doing the same thing. So basically what he did with his device in lockdown. So most of us use iPhones, iPads, or most of us use iPhones most of the time as our go-to devices. As Joe's already described, he uses his. I use mine a lot more. My computer usually gets parked up and doesn't get used, apart from doing meeting stuff. But yeah, it's really the go-to thing to use, and there's so many apps on there. And we're going to basically just show you some of the things, if you do have an iPhone, to find certain information and where you want it and how you can do certain things. So basically what we're going to do is we've set up so I can actually share either my phone or my iPad on the screen, so you can actually see what I'm doing. Now physically, the problem is, because I'm actually going to be doing it on screen, it's a bit hard to actually show you physically, because you guys are actually coming in from your living rooms, so it's a little bit hard. But if there's any questions, I can try and talk them through as I actually do them, and show you how to do them, and basically talk through them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my iPad and just show you some certain things on an iPad, what it looks like, and you can have a look. So this is basically my screen and my iPad here. I'm just going to do it landscape. That's landscape. Basically to show you different things you can do with your iPad. Now, as most people know, if you've got an iPhone and an iPad, you have multiple screens. So you have your main screen, and depending on how many windows you've got open. Now, it always tells you how many windows you've got open, or how many windows you've physically got, is by the 3 or the 4 little dots just above your dock, right down in that section there. So you can actually see those 4 little dots there. That's basically how many windows I've got. I've physically got 4 windows. And then out the side, you have your day or today view. So basically that's upcoming meetings, things that you might have in your home share or something like that. And you can actually scroll that up and down. So that basically, as you can see there, it tells you the power of the battery power of my iPad Pro, gives you a max destination, gives you the weather. That's doing Cupertino, I need to change that. it's also showing screen time, how much my iPad has been used in the last while. So basically, you can see it hasn't been used very much. It's only been used for 20 minutes. And then basically Siri app suggestions. So they're apps that you can use Siri, which is the, in Google's version, it's basically voice activation. So you can use those to find certain things. And then I've also got Up Next, which is Capity main meeting, which is the one coming up on the 7th of September. It just gives me little calendar to do menus like that. So you can add to the home screen as well. So you can add little things. As you can see there, Today View's got add to home. And then basically, if you go, you can actually edit that. And it gives you a whole heap of options at the bottom there. As you can see, the ones at the top that have got the minuses beside are basically the ones that I've got on that screen. But as you can see down the bottom, there's a whole heap more you can add. So you can add the calendar, flybys, Kindle, KiwiBank actions, KiwiBank balances, certain things like that I have on my iPhone, which I look at quite regularly. Instead of going into the physical app, I can actually use those little quick links to have a look and see how much money I've got in my bank account instead of actually opening the app. There's music, there's news, photos. There's a whole heap there. As you can see, there's a lot there that you can add to that. A lot of people will say Wellbeing Cafe. If you use that to go and buy your coffee or your petrol, you can add that as a quick link as well and go in and do that. Reminders. So certain reminders that you might have had, you might have set your reminder to go and get some milk or bread on the way home from work or something. You can actually have a look at those and add to those while you're in that quick view. So just for a certain thing, just to add in there. If I want to add in my calendar, all I do is hit the plus, and you notice now that calendar is now at the bottom of my batteries. Now you can edit that, so you can actually hold that line on the outside, and you can actually drag it up into different parts of that screen as well. So you can move them around, change them around. You can move screen time down below batteries if you don't use that one very often. So that's your today view. So there's a whole heap of stuff you can add there. You can add your mail. So now that's actually put mail at the bottom. If you use that quite a bit, you can actually move that under the calendar. Or you can, if you want to, you can actually move it right up into Siri events like that, Siri suggestions or pinned favorites or something. So yeah, it's quite a handy screen, that one. It's always on the outside. And once you've basically done your modifications, all you do is hit the done at the top there, and then that basically sets that down. So now if I actually scroll down that side, it should have, now it's added the calendar. Oops, off, too far, hang on. Sorry, yeah. So basically there, now you can see I've got my mail. That's given me mail, certain ones I've had mail recently. And yeah, so it's giving me my calendar as well. So I can actually go into that. That physically opens the calendar and shows me that WelMac meeting, what time it is and what have you. So you can actually do it straight from that. So yeah, so yeah, it's quite handy having that side view or that today view. So there's certain things you use, and I use it on my phone quite a bit. So yeah, there's a lot you can actually do that with that. I've actually got one, and it's not on there at the moment because it's not installed on this iPad. But I have another app which is I have basically Wi-Fi enabled light bulbs in my house. So I have one in my lounge and one in my porch light. Now basically with that as well, I can actually control my porch light or my lounge light. If I'm sitting in my car downstairs and it's dark and I've come home, I can physically turn my porch light on or my living room light on. So it actually lights the way when I'm coming home. And I can ask Siri to do it too. So, you know, just to give you an idea, because we have got a lamp on here. Hey Siri, turn my living room light off. And if you watch this, you'll notice the actual light will actually switch off. Siri's still going. Hang on. Hey Siri, turn the living room light off. There you go. It's, as you notice there, it's actually, I've gone into blackness. So it's basically turned my living room light off. Hey Siri, turn the living room light back on. There you go. So I've got that set up as an app. It's really fun to have, especially if you go away a lot too. You can have it come on automated, and so there's a lot of fun things you can do basically with those menus and stuff out the side. So yeah, so basically, if I basically just go into the normal screen, some of these apps I haven't had running for a while. It's a little touchy, this one. It's not going to do it. That's got it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's store forwarded when you're on the side. So yeah, so that's basically there. So that's a handy one to have on the side. Now another one. A lot of people notice you've got so many windows open, and you want to try and get rid of clutter. So like if you've got apps, I've got apps on 4 screens, and you want to actually do a bit of a tidy up of these apps. So you've got ones on there that might be video or podcast or music or stuff like that. So you can actually do that. So if you actually hold one of your apps down, and you can either do it 2 ways. There's the jiggle, or you can actually, you notice there, it comes up with edit home screen. So if you want to edit the home screen, you just hit that, and you notice they're actually jiggling there on the screen just slightly. Now, if I actually move one of those and grab one and actually drag it over another one, you can actually create folders to put stuff in. So now I've actually created a folder. Now I've got both of those in there, but I want to move that into the front screen. Just drag it across. There it goes over. It's not going to do it for me. I'll drag it the other way. It might be easier. So when it's sitting in there. So basically, you actually create folders. So it's on your screen. You can actually create folders, and you can tidy your desktop. So basically, now I've got a folder on there. You can actually rename that folder. You can actually rename it. So I don't want it as folder. I'll just name it as utilities. Something I use, done, and done. So now I've actually created a folder on my desktop now and got rid of some apps. So you can actually do that and tidy up a lot of your apps, especially if you've got maps or contacts or things that actually work together. Quite often what I do is sometimes, like you might want to put your photos or your camera into your photos folder. There's certain things you can do as well. You know, you group them to certain things, like you've got podcasts or music. You can do that as well. So basically, I'll show you again. I'll just hold that down. So you can either do edit home screen. If I want to, I can actually drag that one now, stick that into the utilities folder. You notice there it actually opens that folder up, and you just drop that icon into there. So you can actually do that as well. You know, you might want to do reminders or something like that. You can actually drag that into there as well. It opens that window up, and you can actually put them in there. And now you're actually creating space and creating folders. So you're basically taking away a lot of your, and you're reducing your screen sizes down. So you can do that with a lot of your stuff. So I've actually, you know, I've got some ones there, photo booth and camera, stuff like that. So you can move them around and do all that with some of those apps too. Yeah, basically apps that you've used just recently or opened up are basically always down on the right side of your screen. So they're basically in that section there. So podcast settings and calendar are ones I've opened up just recently. So they're they're basically ones that stay on the right-hand side, and the icons that you've put onto your dock, basically, they stand down the bottom left. Same with settings. You can do that too with settings if you want to. You can hold that if you want to, and actually, if you want to, you can actually drag that down onto your dock as well. So you can add apps to your dock as well. So like things that you use quite a bit, like your FaceTime too. If you do FaceTime calls, you can actually add those into your dock as well, and have them down there. So it gets them off the main screen, but puts them down the bottom. So they're ones that you might use quite regularly. You can have them down there. So yeah. Was there any questions about that? Does anybody want me to show anything else about that, or?
And just a question, does this also apply to the phone, the iPhone?
Yes, yeah, same thing with the phone as well. The only difference, yeah, I'll bring my phone up as well and I'll show you as well. So I'll just share my iPad. So this one's already been set up to do. So same thing with, that's my iPhone. Okay, so that's my screen of my iPhone. As you notice there, I've actually got quite a few windows already set up. So in that one, I have all my news folders in there. So I've got News Hub, TNZ, New Zealand Herald, BBC, TV1 News stuff, and Quick and Record, or Guide and Recorder for my Vodafone TV. Other utilities I use, like 2 Degrees, Spark, Warehouse Mobile, Airport Utility, they're in Utilities, another Utilities folder. So yeah, so I have, and then I have another folder called Weather, which I've put all my weather apps in there. So it basically reduces your screen size. So, you know, doing that again as well, it's the same thing. The only thing is with the new devices, a lot of them don't have the home key at the bottom, so they don't have the home button. With the new devices, so the iPhone 11 Pro, that have the edge-to-edge screen, they don't have a home button. So it's a little bit more different. Yeah, you just have to, same as the iPad, I just hit done and it basically just stops them all wiggling. But it's the same thing, you can do it with that. If I hold that down, you can either edit it, or as you notice here, they're wobbling. So I can actually go into that if I want to. I can actually pull one of those out if I want to, or put it back in again. Or if I want to, if I don't want it on that screen, I can actually move it to the, if I actually create a second screen. So now I've actually created a second screen in that folder. So I've got one screen there, second folder there. So you can move them around between folders. So now I can actually put it back in there again. So yeah, so same as your main window, how you've got multiple screens. So as you can see, I've got a lot of apps on my phone, all spread out. My first screen is my main one. You can do the same thing with your folders. So you can have multiple screens in folders. So you can do that as well. So you can go folder, folder, screen, 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 and just keep going and just move them around.
Sounds
so,
like
yeah.
fractals. Thank you.
That's right, and it's the same thing as well. You notice on the screen there, you have your dots at the bottom. When you move across, it highlights the next dot. Same thing if you go into your folders, it does the same thing. If you go into a multiple folder, you have the dots across the bottom that scroll and move along when you actually move it as well. So it tells you how many screens you've got there. Yeah. So it's quite handy to have as well. But it just reduces your screen size down, and basically having multiple screens. But you can group them together to what you use them for. So yeah, and there's a lot of them I use quite a bit, like stuff lately with the COVID reports and stuff going into TV1 Z News, and recently too has been the COVID app, scanning the COVID app, and doing my history and stuff as well, where I've been scanning. So everywhere I go, and you notice there too, there's actually a few of them like this one, which is actually the trains. So all the trains have scan codes on them as well. So every time you go on a train, They are talking about doing the buses as well. So the buses now with the masks now, that will be up next. So you can do that as well. You basically scan the bus you go into, and it will have its own generic barcode as well. Yeah, main other things too is basically your settings. Always double check your software under general, your software updates to make sure you're all up to date. You know, you've got to keep your devices up to date as well. So current one is 13.6.1, so you must always do that as well. And what I was talking before with Lance, with my iCloud account and my emails and stuff. So basically my cloud there, as you can see, my mail and calendars and stuff is all synced through cloud. So it's all done there. So I have no Google accounts. It's basically all iCloud, and everything's done through that.
Oh, yeah, so one thing is you put the same today view when you scroll to the
Yeah. So if I go back to the today view, so there's my today view, and that's what I was talking about, my porch light, my living room light control on the top there. So basically what they are is they're a Wi-Fi bulb. They're basically a LifeX bulb. They're a Wi-Fi bulb, you buy them. They've got bayonet or normal settings on them, a normal bayonet or Edison screw. You can buy them. They've basically got their own Wi-Fi address, IP address. And it's basically, I've got one out on the porch and one in my lounge. So I have another app, which is this one here. So this is the actual app, and as you can see there, there's my porch light in my living room. I can actually set up schedules. So if I go into Tuesday schedule, you notice there I have it coming on, my porch light at 6:30 at night, goes on at 7:45 at night. So basically it comes on before I get home and switches off while I'm at home. And I can set that up for multiple days. Sunday and Saturday I don't have it, or Sunday and Monday I don't have anything set. But yeah, I had, you know, you can set up multiple schedules, you can manage in them often. You can also set the hue level on them as well. So if I go into here, as you notice, if I've got the living room, I can actually scroll this and make it dimmer and lighter as well. You notice I'm actually controlling that with the light bulb as well. So you can do really cool effects with them as well. So yeah, it's quite cool what you can do with them. So if you find, hey, look, living room light's a bit light and you want it a bit duller, you can just dim it down a bit, or you can bring it back up again full. So they're quite user friendly, really cool.
Shane, can you change the wattage bulb you want?
No, they're actually preset bulbs.
Yep.
So the actual bulbs themselves, these ones, what are these ones? These are mini B22s. These are 800 lumens. So yeah, so they're 800 lumens. So max, which yeah, you can reduce it as you saw when I did it with the app. Then I was actually doing the hue with it, so I'm actually reducing incandescent. So it's basically 2700K at full, and then you can reduce them right down. You know, you can do yeah. But the cool thing is they're all LED. So they're LED bulbs, so they're not like a normal bulb. So yeah, they last a lot longer as well. You know, and they're really good too, because they're only about, I think, $36 or $40. You can buy them, and yeah, the cool thing about them, you can do your home basically with them as long as they're in Wi-Fi connectivity. It's so cool. And you can rename them as well, add them in. So yeah, it's really cool what you can do with them. But yeah, I've just got them scheduled. And if you, I think it's, if you go into the actual, into here, you see there, see how there's all the details of basically the bulb there. So it gives you the serial number, the Wi-Fi strengths, the firmware version as well.
Yep.
So it's got them all there. You can remove the device. And all these are all basically using the cloud as well. So they're all part of the HomeKit, which are part of Apple's home security as well. So you can add them to that too. So if you have security cameras, lights, you can do them all part of that as part of your HomeKit. So yeah, they're really awesome. They're really good to have. As you can see there, it's connected to the cloud. So it's all part of the Wi-Fi in the cloud. So they're really cool.
Where do we buy them, Shane?
Most retailers have got them. JB's have got them. Our company's got them. Harvey Norman's have got them. Most brands. And they're actually a lot more user-friendly than the Philips Hues. The Philips Hue bulbs, you've actually got to buy a hub for them before you can actually use the bulbs. These ones here, you just buy the bulbs, put them in there, download the app and set them up straight away. And you can rename them and set them up with schedules and stuff. And that's basically what I've done there. So the top one, the one that's got the white circle around it is the on, and the one that's got the black dot is basically switching off. So, but the cool thing about it is I can manually override them too. I can just do them if I want to as well.
So the switch is left on at the wall, is that
yes,
right?
it's left on at the wall, and it's all controlled by the app.
What's the name of the, like you said don't get Philips, but what are these
so
ones called?
these ones are called LifeX.
Oh, yes.
LIFX.
Yeah.
So that's the brand of them. And they have their own app. So that was the app right at the bottom, LIFX. You can actually see it down the bottom corner there. Yeah, so that's the name of the app. But you can there's a whole heap of you can buy fluorescent a ribbon type light bulbs as well, colored bulbs as well, which you can hook up as well. You can have them to highlight parts of your room or your bed, or you can set up moods. You can get colored ones as well. So that
one feature of the application I use for tracking my sleep is that it can gradually turn the light on towards the time that you should be waking up. So fade in the daylight as such. So that's one thing you could, for example, do, or schedule it to turn on at a certain time, just so if you're in a dark room, it feels like it's daylight.
So there's a lot of things you can do. You can under the HomeKit, basically you can also set up wake up alarms with them as well. So if you say, hey, instead of the alarm going off at 6:30 and you want to wake up at 6:30, it'll turn your bedroom light on at 6:30 to wake you up. So it prompts you to wake yourself up because it turns the light on. So you can do that with them as well. They're so user friendly. They're really awesome, really cool.
And does the phone have to be on, or are they acting independently?
No. The other cool thing that I have is I can also do it with my watch as well. So with the Apple Watch, there's the LifeX is actually compatible with that as well. So I don't even have to have my phone. I can have my watch. As long as my phone and my watch are in vicinity to one another and they're both on the Wi-Fi network or on a Wi-Fi network, it doesn't have to be at home. I can actually control them. I can turn them on and off as well. So yeah, they're so user-friendly. It's just I haven't downloaded the app for my iPad. So I could control them for the iPad as well. If there was an app for the computer, I could do it as well. So yeah, it's just so user-friendly. They're so cool. Really good in modern times. Using what we have, like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, using the technology and using your devices. So yeah.
And yeah, so getting back to the topic, it's a one click on your Today screen.
Yeah, one that, as you can see there, I've got them right at the top there, Margaret. So as you can see there, I've got them as part of my Today screen right at the top there, living room and porch light. So it's added that LifeX there as well. So I have them right at the top. You show my bank account. Yeah, so you can basically, as you can see, I've got a few other things at the bottom as well. But yeah,
and that's the most useful place to put things, because it's right as you get into your phone, you just swipe to the left, and you've got something instantly there.
Yeah,
it's useful to have the things that you access quite often.
Mm.
Maybe teas made will become popular again.
So yeah, yeah, that's some of the things that I use. Some of the apps I use is like I use MetLink as well, track my trains. So I always have that on too. So I'm always constantly, because I'm using the train transport, I actually have the Ava station set up and basically tells me when the next trains are coming through. So yeah, it's really cool doing things like that.
I've got a message.
Oh, no, yeah, that's my Facebook telling me, yeah. So that's the other thing too. If you notice any of your boxes that have a 1 beside it, like HomeKit there, see currently there's my HomeKit there. All right, so basically there's my revenue light. It's on. Now, if I actually turn my porch light on, see now that has now come on. So my porch light's on. And just to prove it that I've done it through the HomeKit, if I actually go to my LifeX app and wait for the thing to actually catch up, it always, for some reason with the app, it never catches up. But if I go into the LifeX app, you can actually see there now all switches are on. So yeah, so that's done through the home view or the HomeKit. For someone, yeah, there it goes. It's just caught up. The Wi-Fi to the phone sometimes a little bit slow doing it. But yeah, so as you can see, I actually controlled that directly from the HomeKit as well. And the other ones are basically my cameras. I've moved into my new place, but I haven't set the cameras up yet. So I have an
Yeah, only complete this app if you one of them if you're called by a contact tracer and asked to share your digital diary.
Yeah. So yeah, just turn the porch light off again. So yeah, it's really cool.
So Shane, once again, just how did you get to edit that home page again?
Yeah, so basically there's 2 ways there, Howard. Basically, you can either hold down and it'll come up with edit home screen, or you can delete that. But if you hold it down and go past that, then you get the wobble.
Right, okay.
So the wobbles, as you notice there, apps that you can delete will always have a cross beside the bottom of them or on the top left. As you notice there, settings doesn't, messages doesn't, phone or Safari doesn't. Because
it was the other screen, the side screen.
Oh, right. Yes. Yep. So basically with that one again, so basically you scroll to the bottom and there's an edit right at the bottom.
Okay, I got it. Yep. Okay, thanks. I just didn't spot that there.
Yeah, and as you can see there's my LifeX one there. That's the app there that I use to control. So I've got that at the top because I use that all the time. And then when you finish editing, just hit the done, Howard, and then that actually brings your screen back down again.
Thanks very much. That's great.
No worries. But same with your apps too. If you want to edit them, 2 ways. You can either hide it, give it that way, or if you actually just hold it down past that, it'll just give you a wobble. Hold it down.
I know about those. Thanks.
Yeah.
Jane, did you call that screen, the one on the left, your day screen?
That is, that's basically a today screen. It's called the today screen. So it's like your quick to go or your main screen that you go to and check instead of physically opening the app. As you can see there, I've got the calendar, I've got my bank details there, so I can quickly check my bank account. As you can see, I'm getting a bit poor till payday. But I can also, from that screen as well, you notice there I can actually make payments or transfer money from that screen. So I don't actually physically have to go into the Kiwi, or I basically click on there and it takes me to that app, takes me to the Kiwi Bank app, and I can start doing payments or transfers. So if I hit the transfer, you notice there, it's actually open Kiwi Bank. And it's gone straight into there. Okay, and now it's taking me straight to that transfer page. So if I want to, I can actually transfer from, hey, look, my FreeUp account, and then transfer to another bank account or another icon. So it just basically goes through that for you. It's just like a bit of a shortcut window. So it allows you, you notice the news is there. and you notice my iPhone power, my Apple Watch gives me my power for those. But if I also too, if I activate my iPods, there you go. So basically that's my headphones. So I've got my headphones basically there. Yeah. So you notice there, it's basically giving my power of my my iPods and how much power is left in the case as well. And then you notice it's popped up the main one on the main screen as well. As soon as I close that, they'll pop off. They'll just disappear. So it's quite good on there too, because you know I don't have to physically check them, or you know it just automatically does it from there as well.
Shane, that you could, if you had like that, you could work with your hearing aids, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you could if they're yeah, because a lot of people now, I know Peter, our treasurer, has got hearing aids that work with his iPhone, so he can actually control them.
Yep.
So yeah, he can actually control his headphones, his hearing aids, and that from his phone and what have you.
Yeah, I do that on mine.
Yeah,
with my
Gives me
iPad
shame.
and my iPad and iPhone. I
Yeah.
haven't worked out how to do it with my new iMac though. So I see I'm using having to plug in, but I haven't been able to connect through Bluetooth
right.
my hearing aids, which I'd love to do.
Oh, yeah. It's something I'll go look in the future.
Yeah, yeah. The technology now that's coming out now with so many app-enabled devices that will actually physically use your devices is so cool now.
The scan your blood glucose meter, for example, or you you just tap your phone against your shoulder and there you go, you've got your blood glucose. You don't have to. Don't have to prick.
Yeah, so cool.
Excuse me, Shane.
Yeah.
I seem to have lost your main. I can see the thumbnails, but that's it. What have I done?
No, because I'm physically sharing the screen, so I'm actually sharing my iPhone. You might have minimized the share screen or something. Have you dropped it down or something?
Must have. Yeah. How do I get out of that?
Good question. Have a look. Has it gone down the bottom or something, or moved down further down your screen, or if you put it up into a screen?
Well, I might have touched something a while. I haven't been able to.
Find the Zoom app and just maybe go to full screen or something. You might have dropped it down to a smaller something.
Go to the Zoom app.
Yeah, so make sure you're on the Zoom app.
Yeah.
I found that when you shared the screen, we lost the other option for mine.
Yeah.
I can't seem to get to the Zoom app. Oh,
Is that better, Rex?
Lost it now completely.
I think you might have minimized it.
Oh, okay. I'll have a flounder around.
Yeah, because you've got your gallery view and your main full screen. You might have hit the orange dot on the top of the Zoom app.
Yeah.
Have a look at your dock or something.
Have a look at the what? I'll carry on. Don't worry about me.
Yeah. So if you've got the Zoom US at the top of the menu bar, go under your view.
Zoom.
Show manage participants. Show chat. Or enter full screen. So if you scroll your mouse right to the top of the screen.
Yeah, doesn't seem to happen.
Are you on your laptop or your iPad?
MacBook. Yeah.
You're on your MacBook.
We seem to have lost it completely. I might switch out and reload it. Might be the best way, mightn't it? Zoom US, no.
Yeah, Zoom US.
I can hear you, but I can't see you at all.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like you've minimized your screen or something. You've dropped it somewhere.
Okay.
So if you find Zoom S at the top of your menu bar and then go on meetings right beside Zoom S, the actual name of Zoom S, and then
No.
I think you've gone into minimal view. So have you got a little box? Have you just got a little box on your screen or something with just you on it?
With view, did you say?
No, with your picture on it or my picture on it. You can't
No,
see
nothing
it.
at all now. It's gone completely.
Okay.
It must still be running because we can still see you.
We can still see you. Can I?
Well, before we go any further, Shane, I've got to leave you. And
Yeah.
I'll say thank you for a damn good night.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, see you, mate.
Wouldn't be in this FaceTime, would it?
No, it shouldn't be.
Oh, dang it, oh no.
Did you look right at the very, very bottom of your screen, Rex? That's where on my MacBook, that's where you go if you minimize accidentally.
Yeah, it's at the very bottom of the screen.
Yeah, so on your dock or something, you might have minimized it down to your dock. So if you hover down the bottom of your screen, you might find it. Find the Zoom app at the bottom and then hit it again, the app. You might have minimized it right to the bottom. So your dock, that's right at the bottom.
Well, there, I've opened the Zoom app by going into the magnifying glass at the top, but that doesn't do anything either. No,
Yeah.
no, don't worry about me.
Well, if you want to exit and then come back again, that's no worries. We can just add you again.
Well, I open the app again from the
Well,
mail.
you're still actually connected, so you'll have to leave the meeting somehow.
Mm.
Just quit Zoom.
And then find the email again.
Oh, I don't know how the hell that happened.
So it's damn nifty bloody trackpads, Rex.
Yeah. What's the
Rex, if you do Command Q, it should quit the program you're on. So
yeah, Command Q, Rex.
Command Q.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing seemed to happen.
I don't think you're on Zoom. Can you take your mouse to the top of the screen, and on your menu bar, does it show zoom.us?
I could open zoom.us, yeah.
Yeah, do you see that on your top of your menu bar though, beside your Apple logo?
No.
What have you got there? Finder.
Yeah.
Okay. Go Command Tab on your computer.
Command which?
Command Tab on your keyboard. Command Tab. So the one next door to your space bar, and go Tab and scroll through to you highlight the Zoom icon.
Command Tab. Nothing happened. It
No, just keep moving it. Is there nothing?
Brings up that Zoom again.
Yeah. So make sure that box is over the Zoom. So it should have highlighted that Zoom. So you should have your Finder and then Zoom.
Yeah.
So as long as you're on Zoom and then release it, and then go to the top menu of your computer.
Oh, damn it. No. Command Zoom. And it says Zoom, okay.
Yeah, and beside that it's got meeting. We've got Zoom US meeting view edit window help.
No, I can't follow you.
See if you can see in the reflection.
Zoom.
So you'll have the Apple logo, Zoom US, and then meeting.
Right at the top.
Right at the top.
No, nothing there. I've still got Finder.
Something, yeah, something's gone. You've done something. You've flipped it somewhere.
Okay.
Well, you can still hear us.
At least you still have audio.
We can still see you and hear you. So you're still there somewhere.
Okay.
And evidently you can hear us. So
You'll just have to play around and see how you get on. We need to carry on.
Okay. Carry on.
All right. Oops. All right. What else can we do? Now, does everybody know how to take a photo, a screenshot on their iOS device?
Yes.
Mother-in-law doesn't. You do?
no, I'd love to know that, please.
Okay. Oh, whoops. That's not what I want. Oh, that's it. Okay, I'll show you how to do one.
Ah,
Have you found something, Rex?
no. It's come
Okay.
up. Your thing's come up now.
You can see me. All right. Well, yeah. So you can actually see my iPhone now. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's something to do with the other part, the screen sharing part of it. You've done something. So you're getting that, but just not the main participant window for some unknown reason. You've closed something there. Okay. So basically, to take a screenshot of your screen on an iPhone, basically that doesn't have a home key, it's basically your camera button, which is your right one, and your top left one. Over here and over here. Okay, so it's basically your volume up, and see how I'm scrolling my volume up and down the side. So it's the top, the very top one on the left-hand side, and the right one. And if you click those together, that takes a screenshot. And it'll actually disappear after a while and go out. Okay, so that's how you take basically a screenshot.
Can't quite see where the two bits you are what the two bits are that you're touching together.
No, you can't, because basically I'm sharing my screen.
And one on that side, if you're looking at the video. It's the power on off button, and the volume is at the top one.
Yeah, top one.
And the top volume key. So the opposite sides, it's like you're squeezing the phone to get a screenshot out of it.
I see power button and sound button.
Yeah, so the volume up button, and basically the power button on the side. That's how you take a screenshot.
What about if you've got a home button?
Home button, then it's basically on an iPad. So it's the home button and the top button on an iPad.
When you say top button, which top?
The power button.
The power button. On an iPad, the power button is at the top. Okay, so on an iPad, it's the home button and the power button at the top. So if I show you on iPad here, so I've got the iPad here. So it's the one up here, one right up here, and the one down there.
And now I've got the whole lot. Huh?
All right, so you've got that one, and then that one up there.
Right.
Okay, so that's how you do one on that. So I can demo that. Hopefully I'll do it, and I'll try and do them together. It's a bit hard because I've got the case as well. See how it did a screenshot? It's actually got it at the bottom. Okay, so that's how you do a screenshot on an iPad with a home button. You notice there, it just done a photo, and it's actually dropped it down on the left-hand side. So that's how you do it on an iPad. With an iPhone, it's basically the same thing with the earlier iPhones as well, because the power button was at the top. It was only the non home button ones, basically, they basically, yeah, the non-home ones, they changed it to the side. So that's how you do it.
Which makes it the same as Android, Samsung phones. So it's fairly similar. Yeah. It is sometimes quite difficult to get the timing right. So you sort of press the power button slightly before you do the other one. You press and hold it, and then click the other one. If you press and hold it without pressing the other one, then of course you
turn the phone off.
After about 3 or 4 seconds, it says, "Would you like to power off your phone?"
Yeah.
But so you can usually get away with pressing and holding the power button, and then finding the home button, and then pressing it. And yeah, if you're quick enough, you don't turn your phone off. Yeah.
Now, so Shane, once you've taken a screenshot, where is that screenshot?
So they end up in your photos folder.
Thank you.
All right.
Wonderful.
So
very good, very good. Between the two of you, I finally learned how to do it.
Yeah. So basically, the ones I did, I'll show you. So we'll go back to my iPad. Oops. Okay, so if I go into my photos folder, so it's back over here, and click it. That's the window there I took there. Okay, so that's the 3 photos there I took. Oh, it's gone now. But you can also edit as well. So if you want to, you can edit it, and you can crop it. I'll turn it that way. You can crop it if you want to. You can actually crop it down, make it smaller. Just take that section there if you want to. You can flip it around. One of them does it. That one. So you can actually turn it sideways, upside down. So you can do that as well. Yeah, you can actually flip it so it's backwards on itself. So you notice there, so that's the right way round, but you can also do it so it's transparent, so it's the other way round.
It's sometimes handy to use when you've taken a photo and it's mirrored it for some reason or another. There's some text on the screen that's the wrong way around or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or taking a photo in a mirror and you want to see the words the other way around. So yeah, so you can do that as well. So, but that's when you take screenshots, it's the same thing where it goes. You can also do that with your Mac as well. There's a different way, but we're not discussing that today. It's Control 4.
So Ralph, you could flip Capity so that it's the right way round for us.
Yeah.
Capity Island's the wrong way round behind you, but it looks all right to you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So that's basically how you do screenshots. Or someone was talking.
Terrific. Shane, talking about editing, is there any possibility you could show us how to edit a voice memo?
Oh, voice memo.
On an iPhone. You do a voice memo.
Oh, yeah. I do that quite often.
Have you got some?
I've taken most of mine off, but
okay. I'll let Joe do that because he's done that.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do a shopping list on the memo, and there's something, I don't want to destroy the whole memo, but I'd like to just shave it down to the 1 or 2 items I couldn't find or something.
Yeah. So Joe's going to show you. He's going to just share his phone and show you.
So my phone's relatively busy. I make good use of folders. I have social and browsers and navigation and music, and there's usually about 16 apps for all of them. And yes, I also make good use of the Today one for you name it. Batteries and directions and
start scrolling.
slow enough, is it? Yeah. Anyway, so we were going to talk about voice memos.
Yeah. Sorry, it looks like it's a little bit slow catching up. There we go. There we go.
So when you're in voice memos, and I'm already halfway there, you can click on a recording and you'll see this this dot and next to it on the left hand side. And that's what you do to edit, and you click on edit recording, and that will give you this visual view of the recording. Up the top here, you've got this the crop. So I'll just the trim that's up here, and if you click that, it'll give you a visually down the bottom an overview of the whole thing, and you can drag the ends in. Or select just a bit, and then you can either trim it or delete it, and it'll give you the option to whether you want to save it as a new recording or just replace the other one. The other thing you can do is anywhere in the recording, if you scroll through it, you can replace the audio, or if you're at the end, you can continue the recording. So if you've stopped something, you can then resume that recording just by going edit, and you can just resume recording. I'm not sure if I can do that while I'm sharing my screen. So does that sort of answer the question? Yeah.
It gives me quite a lot on that. When you have that blue line and the yellow line, how do you know which part you're deleting and which part stays?
Okay, so the bit that's highlighted essentially is the bit that you keep. I'll go that other one. It was a bit longer. Hold on. One of my close friends, Moray, he actually took his own life, but this was one of the last recordings I have of him. It was just strumming on his guitar and singing something. So it's one of the few I have on my phone. But you'll see visually the bit that's highlighted.
You don't want to risk that one, but I'm thinking if we back
so I've already backed it up on. Yeah, I've already backed it up on my. I've just got it still on my device. I tend to take all the voice memos off my device to save space. But you'll see down the bottom, essentially the yellow bit is the bit that you will be trimming if you trim it, or deleting if you delete it. So the bit that you're the bit that highlighted is the bit that you're doing something with, and the rest will get with trim. The rest will get discarded. With delete, this bit will be deleted. If that makes sense.
The yellow.
Yeah, the yellow bit will be. And it's also useful if you recorded something and you stuffed up a word or something, you can go through and was it there?
This is one.
And you can find it and you can replace that phrase or that sentence. And
obviously with these voice memos, you can scrub it, so you can actually scrub through. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so you can actually go.
What do you mean by
the exact spot?
What do you mean
scrubbing?
by
Is basically scrubbing
Scrolling.
is in music terms they call it scrubbing. So if you're playing a track and you scrub across it, it actually scrubs through the track and plays it really fast.
Yeah.
So that's what they mean by scrubbing. Okay, so when most mixer people, when they're doing music and they want to go to the exact spot, they scrub it and they have it playing through the speakers, but it goes through at optimal speed. So it just goes, and they scrub it. That's what they're calling it, scrubbing.
If you're trying to get to an exact spot, then you can actually pinch and spread your fingers, and that will give you, I think you're down to, it's microseconds.
Yeah, microseconds.
Sort of, it goes about that far in real time. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can show almost the whole recording, or you can show just the bit you're after. And obviously you can just sort of play, and then you can zoom in and say, hey, I want that bit. That's the bit where we were.
Yeah, it's like it's doing 5 second increments basically.
Yeah.
So you can actually scrub it right out and do it really fine as well.
Yeah, or well, this is
what's that, 0.25?
0.25 of a second. Yeah,
yeah,
so
0.25 of a second.
158 goes all the way through to 159. That's 1 second. So there's quite a lot of
control you can do with it. Yeah,
and you'll see down the bottom the blue, I suppose the blue
tracker would be
the blue bit down the bottom is essentially what you have
highlighted.
Yeah, where you are in the one up top. So if you're trying to find something and fine tune it, and then you can move it. Yeah. So there's a lot of room to.
It'd be basically the same similar way if you're editing a movie, Garnet. Same way, like Graham editing a movie, he has that scrubber or that line he goes across, and he can actually go through the video and he can do it, frame by frame by frame by frame. It's doing it the same way.
It's very similar.
Just doing it with audio.
It's very similar in the iMovie app on your phone as well.
Right. Anyway, you've given me an introduction to it. That I've gained more than I knew before, so I can play with it from there and see what I can find.
Yeah. Cool.
Does it leave a trace?
Yeah.
What I mean is that if you doctored all your voicemail and you were required by law to hand in your phone, would there be any evidence that you had edited your voicemail?
Not especially.
It could be a bit dangerous, couldn't it? Really.
Oh well, it's your audio. You should
it's your voice memos, Margaret. So you can basically do what you want with it.
You could represent whatever reality you want. And yes, certainly the kids use this quite a bit. My son certainly records a lot of his school lectures and classes. And I've seen the kids get together and make the teacher say something other than what they said.
Don't mind me. I've just been watching Capture.
Yeah, so it's certainly yes, can be done.
Cool. You had a question, Graham? Yep. Okay. So basically, Graham's just asked the question, how do you shut down applications? Basically,
you just,
do you want to do it on yours if you want?
You essentially, if you've got several of them open, I probably don't want to do it to Zoom. I'll start from scratch again. If you double click the home button, you get the applications which are on the newer devices. You essentially just swipe up, but it's a similar gesture, and you've got all the applications that you have open, sometimes hundreds of them, and essentially when you find one you don't want, you can just swipe it up, and I did it slowly for effect, but yeah, you just flick it out the way, get rid of it, and that should close it. Yeah, so I tend to chuck all the apps away every now and then.
It's getting real slow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If that makes sense.
But on a basically on a non home button one, which I'll show you on mine, it's a little bit more different. So mine, if you notice, I actually scroll upwards from the bottom, and there's my applications open like that. So if I want to close one of them, I just flick up. That's how you close them. Okay, same. Now the other option is also if you go into Safari and you actually do your tabs, in this case it's left flick across. So basically if there's a window you don't want, you go like that, flick to the left, and that closes those. Okay, so you flick to the left. So you notice how that's the opposite way. So that is instead in your main window, it's left to right. So I'll do that again. So if you're multitasking, it goes that way. Okay, and then on Safari, it's basically that way. So you're flicking them off that way.
You can flick them off that way.
No, you can't. It's only one way. It's only the left.
Which also corresponds to the direction you go in Mail to delete a mail, and all the other things where you delete.
Yeah, you delete off. It's always that way.
Get rid of it.
Yeah. So if there's a mail, so there's something you don't want that's in Mail. What have I got there? Is that junk mail? Yes, it is. So I can demonstrate this with a mail because this is Pinterest, which I don't go into. If you flick that way, you notice there it gives you more. And then you can either go delete and it'll go gone.
Or you can just keep on dragging all the way across.
It right across.
Delete it anyway. Yeah. Which is
yeah,
handy.
So I can get junk again. There'll be junk in here as well. So it should load some junk. It's checking. There we go. There's one there. So you can actually go like that. Delete. Bang. Gone.
And the one to the other side is of course marked
yeah.
red.
Yeah. So, or if you've got mail and you mark it the other way, you mark it unread. But if you drag it that way, see how it gives you more flag and delete? If you keep dragging it, that'll actually delete it straight off the end. So yeah, so that's basically how, same window operations, but they just have different ways they do it. So just with anything without a home key, you drag up and that's how you close the applications. On Safari, it's sideways. But if you hit the done at the bottom, that closes back all your windows back down again.
How do you get control center? You get from the chain.
Yeah. Also too, with Safari, with that as well, if you actually hold the outside, you can actually drag the different locations as well. So you can actually move your Safari pages. So it's a bit like your home screen. You can edit them and put them in different positions. So you can actually move them into there, or move them down. So you can actually, if you hold them on the right-hand side of the screen, you can put them in there. What was the one you were saying? Yeah, I was trying to think what you said. Yeah.
There is one other useful thing you do when you're closing apps. If you flick up and so you've got the list of apps there, if you put like a finger on each one so you can delete like 3 or 4 at a time, put a finger on each.
Yeah, your phone is still multi-touch capable, so yes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
See how I got
two?
that?
Yeah, how did you get 2 together?
So basically I touched one.
Fingers.
So I basically touch one on the left and then the one on the right, and you drag up together.
I got it. So you use 2 fingers, one on each.
Yeah. Or if you've got 3 fingers, you can actually go, no, it's not going to allow me to do it. Oh yes, there you go.
You can go 4 if you've got small fingers.
If you've got small fingers, you can do it like that as well.
The iPhone interface can track up to 11 fingers, did you know?
Yeah.
11 individual inputs.
All right for some.
Yeah. If you've got a large enough screen, it'll be okay on an iPad, but on an iPhone, it's a little bit harder.
You need to be a 6-fingered individual, and there aren't that many.
But basically, how I did it that way, I hit the Facebook one, then the mail one, then the other one, and you can still do them. You can do them that way. But if you do the one on the outside, you only drag that one. If you do that one, you can only do that one. But if you hold one of them and then hold the other one, then you can drag both.
As soon as you start moving it, it commits you.
Yeah, it commits you to actually delete. You'll get used to it after a while. And the other one, which if I stop sharing on that, and I'll show you on.
While you're getting ready, can I bid you all the farewell? I need to run off too.
Yeah, no worries, Gunnar. Not a problem.
It's been wonderful catching up with you all. Thank you very much, and I love the information.
Okay,
and,
mate.
We should get the video up later anyway, so you can catch up with the bits that you missed if you've got to go.
That'd be great.
Okay. Bye, Gunnar.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now this is another one, which we're talking about. I'll go on here, onto here. So basically, I've got my iPad there, and what I'll do is I'll do landscape. So this is actually easier to do. Now, this is one that a lot of you might not be able to do while we're doing it here, because showing you is going to be a lot more harder, is basically doing split screen. So basically, what I want to try and do is so if I open Safari up, and I want to bring another application up beside it. So what I do is bring the dock up. Now I want to bring Mail. So I hold Mail. I hold it down too long. And if you drag it, you notice now it's actually split the screen. Okay, there's Mail, there's Safari. So this is the actual screen. Now if I do that, now I have Mail and I have Safari beside each other. So now I can actually scroll these totally individually.
And you can also change where the split is as well.
Yes. See, if you hold in the middle where that line is, oops, not that, there, you can, it's going to do it. It's because I highlighted that, but I think it's Mail is the best one to go. That one's actually drag out. I think this Mail's not the best one to have on that side. What I'll do is I'll drag, yeah, put that up that.
So is it best to do Mail first, or can you drag it across?
You can grab them up the top and move
right.
them around. Yeah.
Yes, like that.
Flip it out of it.
Yeah. So if I bring my dock back up, that's another one I can. Settings might be a better one. Wait.
Oh yeah, and that's the open gesture.
Yeah. Get up. No, I don't think I can do that one. It's not going to allow me to do that one.
Try you're playing
messages.
Music or something.
Yeah, doing that one. That's better. Okay, so with this one here, you can actually see how you can move the split. So you can either make Safari smaller and the music one bigger, or you can actually, let's doing it again.
What are you touching?
Yeah, it's hard to do if you've got some. One thing you can, I've done it on the iPad at home, is if you've got a Zoom meeting and you're trying to do something else as well. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Are you dragging on the, have you got your finger on the division?
I'm in that middle section basically, or...
Yeah, this bit in the middle.
Yeah, that's not going to show them. They won't see that though. Yeah, it's basically that middle section. You've got to be right on that. See, there's a little line, a little tab in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you. That where the white, where the little white part is.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's basically where you do it on there. And then basically, if you want to close that window, you actually bring that like that. Now that's just straight one application.
Got it.
It's my cover that's on here. It's making it worse. But yeah, to actually take that off again and bring it down, there's another line at the top, right up there. So that brings it, so that one right up in there. There's one at the top. If you do that one.
Oh yeah, I see it. What are you doing with it?
That's where you can drag the window down and say put it in the middle or rearrange it. Or,
okay.
Yeah. Move it around.
Yeah, now I can move it the other side. Now I've got music on that side and the Safari on the other side. So you can actually do that, bring that off, and actually swap sides on both sides. So you can actually drag them and change the order around so you can have them either and scroll through the internet as well. So you can actually play the music. If you want to, you can go into the internet, go into there, go into something. You can play music while you're actually on the internet. So yeah, well, you can bring your full control up. There's your music there. Change your track. So you can do that. Or if you want to, you can actually bring that down, go into the library, go into, where are we? So I edit that. Have I actually got music videos? I don't think so.
Yeah. So that's probably the most useful thing is watching a video or something while you're doing something else. Yeah.
Don't think there's
Does it work with YouTube?
Not sure.
Because YouTube is the most annoying, making you pay to put it in the background.
Yeah. Should actually try that.
You got YouTube. YouTube. You have to be premium to allow YouTube to play you. I used to use Google Play Music, which is the music app. But now they've merged with YouTube Music. You have to pay to put it in the background, which defeats the whole purpose of a listening to music app if you can't listen to it while you're doing something else. Anyway, I think they want you to. Yeah. It's kind of.
Yeah, it's trying to do AirPlay.
You're already airplaying and you can't airplay as well as airplay. So it's not actually sharing it.
Oops, content is not supported. Yeah, unfortunately, YouTube's not supported to do that. So,
well, I think essentially the reason they do that is because then you could record the video you're watching.
Yeah.
And broadcast it on a Zoom session to everyone else. Yeah. Similar with Netflix and a lot of those apps.
Yeah, it's just I haven't got any music videos. They're all on my iPhone to actually do that. But if you watch something, maybe you could do.
Are they iCloud or you should be able to play them from your iCloud library?
Yeah, I haven't got my music shared to the iCloud. Yeah, so I can't do that. But I could.
Awesome.
No, but yeah, it's quite cool what you can do, and you can do split screen and do it that way as well. But the cool thing, if you do that as well, and you bring music up in here, you can actually do it portrait as well. So you can do it that way too. So you can move and split screen that way as well. You don't actually have to have it landscape. You can have it portrait, and it'll just automatically flip. And you can resize them and do them as well. So it's really cool. It means you can play music while you're doing something on the internet, play it out there, and you can do the internet and go through web pages as well. So yeah. Cool. So that's doing split view. And there's certain videos you can watch as well. I think if you go onto Apple TV and stuff, you can also do picture-in-picture. You're taking control of my iPad, have you?
Oh, I'm just drawing on your screen.
Joe's just drawing on my screen, so you can edit on somebody's screen as well. Because I've made Joe a co-host. You see, he's got full control as well. So he can actually point to something, and he's doing a little arrow there, pointing to stuff like that. So he's, yeah, it's quite cool what you can do. Was there any questions anybody wants to ask or something? What I'm hoping to do too, and I don't know if, I think Humphrey might have gone actually. Yes, he has. Ralph, I'm hoping to come up to your meeting on Monday, the 7th. So hopefully, because you're going to be carrying on with what we've been doing again, hopefully some of the things that I've done tonight I'll be able to show physically at your meeting as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit to your meeting as well.
I'm sure you'll be very welcome, Shane. Let's just clarify, the list I sent you were tips that we're going to be showing on Monday night, not last month. So you can see that list of what we've got, and it's all prepared to go. And probably you should be in touch with Humphrey. I will do. One that organises the timing of the meeting. He's given me strict times. So so just perhaps get in touch with him.
Yeah, I will do. No worries at all.
Yep.
One little tip that I came across, and I'll actually just show you, because I used to struggle with this all the time. As you see, I've got lots and lots of screens of apps on my phone, and I won't scroll too fast. But you can, when you're dragging things around, you can actually go from one screen to another by just nudging up to the edge. And if you've got to go a long way, so by default, your apps get often installed on the very end of the last screen. And you want to get them home again, back to the start. They're a bit more tricky. But the technique I found was, if you press and hold it with one finger and then get another finger to do the scrolling, and you've got one, you hold it with one finger and you can just scroll it with the other finger. You don't actually have to nudge up to the edge, and it does do it just as quickly. In fact, so quickly that the screen doesn't keep up. So yeah, having if you're holding on the icon you want to move and you're just swiping with your other finger from screen to screen, it's a far easier way than trying to nudge them up to the edge and then go one past or one back.
Yeah, and trying to get them in, especially when you've got a screen that's like Joe's front screen there that is completely chocker, and then trying to get them in the right spot or anything.
I'm trying to get it over there. Yeah.
And half the time they end up creating another folder, and it opens up another folder. So yeah, sometimes quite a lot more faster just to do that as well.
A bit more precise. Yeah, I think of all of these, social is the one that's got the most. There's at least 4 pages of social apps. But yeah, there's probably a few that are hiding on other pages that need to be sorted. Anyway.
Cool. So I hope that gave you a bit of an insight of different things that can be done with an iPad and an iPhone and different ways and what have you. And by all means, if there's any questions about any of the stuff that we've done, and I know it is quite hard trying to do it when you're on screen, trying to do it. So yeah, but hopefully people, go through to Capity, and I haven't talked to Humphrey. Hopefully we'll be able to show you some of those in more detail, because you can physically show them. It's just a little bit hard trying to do it on a video, because you're actually sharing the screen and trying to explain it at the same time. And that's why the iPad groups are quite good, because you can physically do it in front of people, and people can actually see you doing it, or you actually grab their iPad and show them, or get them to do it as well. So, but yeah, it just gives you a bit of an insight what I do with the iPad groups up there, and we're always learning. People are always sharing different tips. Yeah, and it's really good. You know, your most well-maintained or well-used items are basically your phones and your iPads more than your computers. So you've just got so much more flexibility with them, and you can have a lot of fun with them as well and do a lot of stuff with them. So, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Shane. Much appreciated. And
yeah, no worries at all.
To learn.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
Excellent. I hope you guys have learned something as well.
Excellent. Yeah, great, Shane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, leaving now then. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Thanks, Ralph.
Yeah,
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much, guys. It was fascinating.
Yeah. Well, if you're up at Kapiti Margaret, you'll be able to see some of them as well.
What's that?
On Monday the 7th, if you're up there.
Oh, yes. I'm not quite sure at this stage.
Night, Howard.
See you.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.